Welcome to Chris's Storytelling Corner. This is Christopher Moldong of Chris's Storytelling Corner. Today I'm going to do a movie review for The Breadwinner. Here's the synopsis for the movie. Parvana is an 11-year-old girl who lives under Taliban rule in Afghanistan in 2001. After the wrongful arrest of her father, Parvana cuts off her hair and dresses like a boy to support her family. Working alongside a friend, she soon discovers a new world of freedom and danger. Drawing strength from the fantastical stories she invents, Parvana embarks on an epic quest to find her father and reunite her family. Next time, I'll have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 3 and 4 and a movie review for the Justice League. You can check out my author's website at www.chrismoldon.com. You can buy my first novel, a fantasy adventure called The Mustard Prince in the Convent Kingdom, for $4.99. Also, for $2.99, you can buy my short story collection, a collection of 10 short stories in the horror, fantasy, and realistic fiction genres. Check out my Twitter page and author's Facebook page. Links to all these will be provided on the description. I'd also really like to hear from you guys as well. So if there are any movies that you can recommend for me to watch, leave that in the comments. Or if there are any movies you want me to review, leave that in the comments as well. Make sure to subscribe and share this channel also. So the way that this is going to work is I'm going to give a recap of the movie. So just to tell you, there will have spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie yet, there's heavy spoilers here. And after I give the recap, I'm going to give my thoughts on the movie, things like the plot, the characters, and just other things about the movie. So, here's a recap. Oh, actually, before I get into that, just as far as an early assessment of the movie, letter grade, give it an A. I thought it was really good. It's animated. It's different. It's a movie that really makes you think. It's very serious. There are some bits of humor in here, but for the most part, it's very serious. It's a movie that will really make you think about the world that you live in, and it does have to do with like social issues and whatnot. Very thought-provoking, but it's a very serious movie. It's animated, but I wouldn't say it's for kids personally. I think there's just a lot of adult themes. Women do get beaten in this movie. You don't actually see it, but you know it happens. Um, it's not really necessarily made for kids, even though it is animated. But I've actually heard that a lot of parents have taken their kids to this movie, and even they've read the book, or kids have read the book too. So, um, I, I suppose it is a bit more thought provoking. I wonder if I don't have kids, so I don't really know if this is this isn't some Disney movie. It's not Moana. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what I'll say. But anyways, let's just get to the recap of the movie, and then I'll give my thoughts. So Parvana's father is arrested due to going against laws. It's mainly due to this young Taliban soldier that is absolutely messed up in it. I mean, no, I can't even say messed up. It's just filled with so much hatred and anger. Parvana cuts her hair and dresses like a boy, and then she starts working uh, and meets. I'm gonna butcher some names here. Shazia, who also dresses like a boy, that she knew a while back. She also speaks with a Razak who is pretty much a sympathetic man who can't read. Um, Parvana starts to tell her little brother, Zaki, the story of a young boy. Um, Story is that he has to gain 3 items in order to defeat the Elephant King who stole the town's food. Um, there's kind of a story in a story here. Parvana wants to find her father who is taken to the prison. She goes there, but and asks for him, but gets turned away, and eventually gets just punched in the stomach. Uh, Meanwhile, back at their house without their father there, um, Parvana has a sister named Soraya who gets married to a second cousin with the help of their mom, Fatima. Uh, so, with the help of Razak, Parvana goes back to the prison, but at the same time, Soraya, Zaki, and their mom, Fatima, get taken away to the second cousin's place without Parvana. At the prison, Razak helps Parvana find her father, and but he tells her to wait, and if he doesn't come back at a certain time, she's just to run off. During the time that she's waiting, she's actually recalling or finishing up the story of the boy who's going to fight the Elephant King. Turns out the boy is the same name as her dead brother, Solomon, and Solomon, and he ends up actually using 3 different things to defeat um, the Elephant King. The last one being his own story of how he actually died. That's how he soothes the Elephant King. Razak, who was actually shot in the arm, returns to Ravana with her father. Meanwhile, the person that's taking them to the second cousin's place, his car breaks down actually, and Fatima and Soraya with Zaki try to run away. Fatima fights against the man as Soraya runs away with Zaki. As all this is happening, the city just gets bombed as war is starting. Eventually, Soraya and the mom and Zaki reunite. The man runs away, and then Parvana manages to reunite with her father, and they're just kind of walking away as well. So that's pretty much where it ends too. So some thoughts on the movie. Man, just as a movie, there are a lot of things, a lot of themes, a lot of ideas that are going on here. But like some of the scenery, it's just kind of crazy. You'll see her walking through this like desert of broken tanks, walking through past a road, and you'll just see these like military trucks passing by, um, stuff like that. It's very well done in that sense. A lot of just memorable images. You actually hear planes flying over them throughout the whole movie, just at random times, and you know that like something. It's just there's like this foreshadowing of something's happening. Um, it's kind of funny. I watched this movie with my friend, and he's like, "Yeah, the thing that stood, like they're like," and he told me, "Yeah, like I understand that there's a lot of like misogyny going on here. I mean, just this in this society." Women cannot even go outside without their husbands. If they even just go outside, um, they get belittled and even beaten for just going outside, which is just crazy. Because sometimes they just need to buy something. In the case of Parvana, she just needs to get water, And it's like just going outside is so dangerous for a woman. So there is that misogyny. But I remember what my friend said. It's like, dude, it's just so poor. It just like kind of sucks for them, you know. Like, yeah, you know, they don't get to eat a lot. They don't get a lot of money. Work is very. There isn't a lot of work. I mean, just the conditions out of which they live in are just. I mean, you know, it's not California. You know what I mean? Just tell you, it's not that good. You know, it's just they don't get the same luxuries that others do. Obviously, one thing that stood out to me though, more so than anything else, and I thought they captured this really well, is just how angry these people, some of these people were, especially those that were a part of like the military, that they're a part of like the Taliban and whatnot. I mean, they're just like the young Taliban boy that initially approaches Parvana's father and just says how useless what he taught him, you know, whatever he taught him was just so useless, you know. I mean, he's just so angry. Like it's like there's just this weird level of anger, you know, and lack of reason, you know, or reasoning with these people that are just so angry. You know, you see Razak holding Parvana's father, and it's just like this one guy with a gun, just where are you going? You know, and it's just like get back here. You know, it's like just let him go. You know, like you want to think with some level of sensibility or reason, and just for some weird you know, like it's just so hard to comprehend. Like he's just so angry. He's not like he's just not gonna let this weak, you know, this pretty much helpless, this man help another helpless, a very helpless man. Parvana's father only has one leg. He lost it in the war, you know, and it's just this guy, this guard just doesn't want to help him, you know. When Parvana goes to the prison for the first time, the guy punches her, you know. I mean, just for being an annoyance, you know. There's a scene where you see this one woman that just wanted to buy something. She's trying to get in her house, and then she's getting ridiculed by like three men, and eventually she gets attacked. Um, when Parvana's mother is trying to find her husband with Parvana, it's like this one guy goes out there to her, questions her, and starts beating her up with this with the father's cane. I mean, it just and tells her to go home, and it's just like the like to me that's what stood out the most. It was just like, man, these people are just so angry. Like I don't, I can't. Obviously, I will not be able to comprehend it. Why that is. Um, but yeah, it's definitely you know, night and day. You know, compared to like here in the U.S. versus like here there. If that movie is any indication, and obviously I've never been there, so I can't really say. But I can imagine that like this is kind of based upon some real life events. I would imagine. As far as the characters go, you have Parvana. Um, she's smart, brave, scared, um, strong, weak. I mean, very multi-layered character. You know, it's like she's kind of just forced into the situation, and she's a part of this world that does not treat her favorably. You know, just because she's a woman. You know, can't go outside. You know, she tries to get water, sees that Taliban boy coming by with some other goons, and it's like, dude, she has to run back home because, or else she might get beaten up or something. You know, I mean, that's how dangerous this world is. Um, but yeah, it's everything. She's strong for cutting her hair and trying to provide for her family. She's physically weak. I mean, like, she can't really fight the boys. There's a scene where she's working with Shazia, and like they took too long to load the truck, because they're just physically weaker than men. I mean, so it's like, but she's strong, to do what she's doing. But like, it's that contrast there. It's like she's strong, weak. She's brave for doing what she's doing, but like she's scared too, and rightfully so. So really just a pretty dynamic character. Um, just wants to find her dad. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like she just wants to get her dad back. You know. Shazia, Shazia's the dreamer. She wants to sell. She wants to go to the beach, um, sell what she can there, kind of get out of her life, but like at the same time, she can't do it either because she knows her father's probably going to try and find her and kill her. That's her words, And she also has to dress up like a boy and do things, work and whatnot, and pretty much serve her father, who doesn't really, just same with the misogyny thing's just huge. It's like, who does not treat her with any sense of respect or anything like that. It's a big help for Parvana because there's just no one her age that's really helping. Parvana and Shazi is a bit more street smart, changing the name and whatnot, knowing where to find jobs. But unfortunately, she just cannot get past her, like, quote unquote shackles in a sense. Then there's Parvana's father, Narula. He's a school teacher. He's educated. He was shot. He fought alongside everyone in the war, but he also does things that are against tradition or law, or whatever it is. He teaches. Apparently, I think he teaches women how to read and write, and he's not supposed to do that. That was what I got from the movie, and it just, once again, it really just goes to show like how different different it is over there, if this movie is based upon like real life actual events. He's also just a victim of just such unfairness. I mean, it really is. He's wrongfully imprisoned. He was gonna die in that prison too, and the dude only has one leg that he lost in a war. And the guy that imprisons him is like, he fought with that, for, I guess, for the Taliban or whatnot. And it's like, there's no repayment or anything like that. There's no thanks here for anything. But he's ridiculed by the young boy for teaching him. It's pretty tragic. And there's the mother, Fatima. Fatima's kind of like, if I were to say, she's just I mean, she's mature. She kind of knows the way of that society. She does kind of break the norm in the sense. I mean, she does go out to find her husband and gets beat up. And once that happens, it's just kind of like, okay, I'm going to stay home. You know, Parvana, just stay home. Let's not, like, let's not poke the bear. But at the very end, she does poke the bear. She actually grabs the man's knife and tells Soraya to run away with Zaki, and fights back eventually. So, maybe you see a little bit in that sense. You see a bit of what Parvana's strength in the mother as well. Soraya was just kind of someone that seems to have like been doesn't seem to have the same strength as Parvana. Just once again just toes the line really. She tells Parvana not to do these things, certain things, but criticizes Parvana for helping. It's like, hey, I'm trying to be the breadwinner for the house because none of you can even go outside. And Soraya is just pretty much like, oh, don't do this. It's, yeah, she, she's just like the captive princess or something like that. Just she came across the story kind of helpless, um, and just doesn't get along with Parvana more so than anything else. Um, and then there's Zaki. He tells a story to Zaki. There's really not much to him. He's just a boy. But Solomon's pretty interesting, just because on the story goes, I think he was like 14, 11, 12, or 14 or something like that. And he picked up a toy and it blew up and he died. And that's what happened. And the story in the story has Solomon trying to fight the Elephant King. And it's kind of cool because he's a very scared boy. Something keeps chasing him, but he's also very helpful. He helps an old horse, he helps this old lady. And even though he's scared, he still fights against the Elephant King and wins, at the very end. So in a sense, that's very reflective of Parvana, of just someone that's very scared but is fights through that fear to win in the end, pretty much. Um, it's kind of funny actually, because the young Taliban boy, soldier, in a sense, kind of has that same thing too, but he's just really angry. There's a scene where he fires a gun and he just gets so scared, and then the men just kind of the group tell him to get in the back of this pickup truck and to go fight in the war, and you can tell he's just kind of scared. And in a sense, too, with his youth, like my friend who saw it, he kind of saw the parallel with him too. It's like he's not exactly treated like royalty, got his name, but he's just like really angry kid, or anything. He's not treated with any sense of respect by the older like members of the society. So like in that sense, and he's also seemingly pretty scared to go. Once he's said to go to war, he looks kind of scared, So he's not a sympathetic character, but like he's deeper than he was initially pointed out to be. Another character that was really deep too is Razak. He's illiterate. He has scenes with Parvana, who's like disguised as a boy. She eventually tells Razak the truth about her and what happened to her father, and Razak actually really comes through. It's nice to find someone sympathetic and willing, an adult that's sympathetic and that's willing to help Parvana, because um, there just aren't any in the movie. They're just adult males that are willing to help are actually very few and far between. And most of the males in the story, besides the dad and Razak, um, or adult males, are angry soldiers. I mean, that's the thing. Um, there's this, it's 2001. The planes are flying over. There's this threat of war just looming. And eventually, city gets bombed. Um, and that it's. I guess that's another theme too, because in a sense, it's kind of like you really don't know who you're who gets affected by the war. Just the normal citizens, and just how badly they get affected by war. They're like the unknown casualties of the war, that you just really don't think about. You don't see them. um, and whatnot. I don't think that this movie necessarily looks down on the war or sees the war positively. It just seems something that happened. It happened. I can't really. It didn't really seem to judge, to me at least. It didn't seem to judge war as bad per se. Um, if anything, the conditions that were happening down and whatnot, and just how women were treated, was actually one of the bigger stories of the movie, more so than anything else. The war is just kind of like, if anything, it's kind of like a Deus Ex Machina of, I mean, in a sense, it's almost karma, for these people to, treat women so badly, and in a sense, it's kind of like, here's someone, in a sense, you're going to be a bully to women, and in a sense, it's kind of like, well, here's a bully that are going to get you now. They have the planes, they have whatever, to bomb you guys. It's like you don't have the resources that they do. You know, just like these men don't, women don't have the resources that the men do, um, as well. So, uh, yeah, like I said, like with this movie, I remember a lot of people stayed. There weren't too many people in the theater when I watched it. It's in an art theater, and but we stayed after the credits. It was nice too. I didn't really want to leave. I just wanted to kind of sit there, digest what I saw. Like I said, it's really thought provoking. Really, this movie really made me think, just about things, and whatnot. And just it's a very like worldly movie in that sense. Just it sees like the human side of things, the you know that's peek into like a culture that we're not, here in like the U.S. I'm in California, like the coastal cities, and it lets you peek into a world that you just don't really know even existed, you know, and how people are treated, or the conditions that how of people from other places are. So, like I said, I greatly recommend this movie. It's highly thought provoking. I don't know what other theaters are playing it. I wasn't in an art theater. If if you guys can watch it, find a theater to watch it. I'd greatly recommend it. If you can rent it on DVD when it comes out, or Blu-ray or whatever, rent it. Just know that yes, it is animated, but it is a very heavy movie. Um, I use the word terrifying because it kind of is terrifying, just of what happens. I mean, it's not, even the ending isn't exactly good. It's not like, it's not flowers and rainbows. I mean, it's it's just like more hardship. By the very end. At least none of the main family died. That's all that like can really be said. But like, it wasn't necessarily a happy ending. And the movie, watching it throughout, it's not a happy movie. It's actually just quite tragic throughout the whole movie. Um, but it is a very good movie nonetheless. So, that's all for today. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment to this channel. Thank you for listening to this movie review. Next time, I will have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 3 and 4, and a movie review for the Justice League. Thank you, and until next time.